What's going on, people? Welcome back to another John Sinclair TV. Back again for another YouTube journey. I've got my guy, Rob, with us. Robin, how we doing?
Yes, I'm good, John. Thanks for having me on. I know we've been chatting for a little while now about me coming on, so I'm glad we found the time to get it done. And yeah, it's good to be here. Hello, everyone.
Big up, Robert. Brilliant stuff. We heard a lot about you, by the way, because my guy Lee from Newcastle Fans TV was on last week, and he said he was always happy. You're always happy.
Well, I try to be. How can I not be happy when I'm on your show, John? You know.
Exactly, my guy. Exactly. So, guys, if you like the video, like what you say, please give it a like, subscribe. Also, super chats are open, and if you'd like to become a member, it's just 99p. And if you enter it, then you got a chance to win the £50 voucher, e-voucher from Newcastle United club shops. You can spend what you want, and that will be taking place in September before the Champions League game. So, first off, before we go on to anything else, I'd like to say to you, Rob, that first of all, before we get into the show, I'd like to congratulate you and your lovely wife on your recent marriage and wish you all the best in the future, my guy.
Thank you very much. That's very, very kind of you. Yeah, it was our 9th anniversary the day we got married, so we've been together for a little while now. So yeah, it was good to do it. Quite a bit of planning and stuff, but it was a cracking day, mate. Thank you. We both very much enjoyed it.
Fabulous stuff. We're going to get into the chat later on as well, when you come to the third part, and I know there's a few of them coming as well. And right, first of all, let's get into it, and got prepared some questions for you, Rob. And we go for part one. And the first question I'd like to ask you is, where were you brought up, and when did you first fall in love with Newcastle United?
Yeah, brought up in Newcastle, born and bred. And it's a funny one when you say, when did you fall in love with Newcastle United? Because really, I think I never knew anything other than Newcastle United. I've got some great photos of me, funnily enough, with some of the shirts I've got in that wardrobe right behind me that my dad gave me one year as a present, because obviously he had them all when he was growing up. Got some good ones of me wearing 3 years old, wearing these large Newcastle shirts. So it's always been Newcastle, and as you say, and we'll come on to it, but it's always been Alan Shearer's celebration out with your mates, wasn't it, when you were a kid? So yeah, absolutely. it's always been that way. And I'll be honest, I think I'm in love with Newcastle as much now as I think I've possibly ever been, to be fair. Obviously, when you're a kid and you're following the game, but as we'll go on to in this show, no doubt there's been a few troublesome years for Newcastle, whereas at the moment it's living it and breathing it and really enjoying it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, what a time to be alive, eh? What a time to be a Newcastle fan up to now. Wow.
Yeah, good time for it at the moment, haven't we?
Absolutely. Got me tickets as well. So thank God for that. That's to go out later on. And when and why did you start your YouTube journey?
Yeah, it's crazy, to be honest, because I have been doing it for quite a while. It was actually this season. We got relegated with Rafa, and then it was him who came. So that was the first year I started my channel, and it wasn't as much Newcastle United at that point. It was just, I kind of want to do something YouTube related. I was still going to the games. I was still a Newcastle fan, but I never really connected them both at the time. I was doing a few different bits here and there, and it was a cup game I went to, and I did a bit of a vlog for it. It had quite a good reaction. I thought, hang on, I can put two loves of watching the football, supporting Newcastle, and video filming and creating as one. What wasn't great was we got relegated that season. So my first fully fledged real year on the channel was in the Championship. But it was still quite a lot of positivity at the time, because obviously Rafa had decided he was going to stay on. We got promoted, and I'm thinking this could be a good one. I continued doing it for another 6 or 7 years before the takeover. So yeah, it was some up and down times, but it's always been good fun.
Oh, fantastic. I mean, when Rafa decided to stay, I thought, great, you're going to get promoted.
Oh, I know.
But
yeah.
Tough. It was a long road, wasn't it? Wow.
It was.
Wow. And next question for you, Rob. We all had our dark years following our club. What kept you personally supporting Newcastle? I'll read again. We had our dark days following our club. What kept you personally supporting Newcastle?
Yeah, I mean, as you say, it was never any question of who I was really supporting from the day you grow up, you know, and you're in school and the family and it's black and white shirts all around. So there was no point when I thought, well, actually, I'm not going to support them anymore. It was always just that you would, it was almost just like an unspoken vow that you would just support them regardless of how it was going. I know that, as I say, especially through some of the tougher Ashley years. I think the years that really got me, it wasn't even, you know, the relegations aren't great and losing games isn't great either, but I think it was more the going to the game and there's protests outside and there's arguing and there's, are you going to boycott? Are you not going to boycott? That was the thing that was really more tough than anything else. And I think what kept me going to the game actually, and this is kind of what was so great when we had the takeover, was yes, we were going to go and buy a few players, and yes, we were going to hopefully win a few games, but it was also we could go to the games, meet our friends, and enjoy it again. So I think what was kept me going back to St. James's Park, despite, you know, paying the money to someone who wasn't putting it back in and buying the pies and knowing that money would never going to see again. I think what was kept us going was sitting with my mates at the match and having a few beers and just trying to enjoy it for what it was rather than maybe what I hoped it would be. But it's good now that I can do both.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, at the end of the day, right? I mean, we bleed black and white, and we enjoy football. We love Newcastle United. You know what I mean? We don't want to argue. Sort of, just go in there, enjoy the game with the lads, we have a drink, and that's how it goes. But look, at the end of the day, there's no more arguments among the fans anymore, which I think is fantastic. But at the end of the day, you've got to be happy while it is. So win, lose, or draw, we just got to enjoy it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely.
So, and I've got a next question for you. Have you had dark years as a YouTuber? If so, how did you move on from any negativity to then go on to grow your amazing channel?
Oh, it's very kind of you to say my channel is amazing, John. But yeah, as I say, it's not always easy. I think, you know, obviously you've started your own channel, which is going brilliantly as well. And when you first get started and you're hoping people are gonna watch your videos and nobody does, you're thinking, am I doing something wrong? What do I do better? And then you are right. I think there is negativity at times, and I think a lot of the negativity around my channel was thankfully not all. Obviously, I've had people in the comments who have disagreed with my opinion or said that I was no good at my videos and whatever, which is never nice. But I think a lot of it was mostly aimed around, as I say, through the Ashley years. You know, why are you going to the game? Like, what you should be boycotting this game and all that kind of just like that noise. And even if it wasn't necessarily negativity directed at me, it was still negativity at the club. And because I was doing videos about it, I was involved in it. And it is a bit of like there's play with your mind a little bit. And there definitely was moments where I thought, should I keep doing this? You know, we're not doing very well. So Newcastle wise, so people aren't really enjoying the videos. Am I enjoying recording us lose 3-0 every week? Not really. So it does play with you. But I think what keeps you going is just, I enjoy doing it. And I suppose maybe I'm the eternal optimist, as I think you have to be as football fans, that maybe it'll be all right in the end. And, you know, those years where it wasn't necessarily great, you know, now it is. So I'm very pleased I kept it going. I think as well, I mean, at the minute, as I say, I'm living, breathing it every single day. There's something new to talk about. I think back then it was maybe a video a week or a video every now and then, which I think, you know, kept it, you know, kind of a little bit more casual. But yeah, it's all been, it feels like it's worth it sitting here right now because it's certainly had a good upturn.
Absolutely fantastic words there, Rob. I mean, you've got to be positive, and you know, I mean, the thing is that, I mean, as a YouTuber myself, sort of thing, like, you know, it's hard work, but you got to reap rewards at the end of the day. Don't ever give up. Just live your dream. Just keep going and keep going. You never know, and that's the way to go about it. Do you know what I mean? But
yes,
we're here, and I mean, I'd love to get 5 figures, but that'll come. It'll come.
Yeah, so, you'll get there, mate. Just keep plugging away.
Absolutely. Well said. And on a more positive note, what are the highlights of your experience as a YouTube creator?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely been a few. As I say, even it's strange how things are always changing, aren't they? Because I suppose it's just the way you are, and as you kind of grow with the channel, you're always looking at the next step and the next step. But I do remember some of the lower miles, like hitting like 1,000 subscribers. I remember when I first started off, and at the time it was YouTube was quite very different to what it is now. Like things are always changing. You never know what the algorithm is going to tell you to do, and what videos it's gonna tell you people like or don't like. But I remember posting videos at a time where I'd maybe get 1 or 2 views. And I do remember saying, like, I'd love to just post a video and just have like 50 people watch it, 100 people watch it. And I remember when I started to get that, and I was so chuffed. I mean, I don't know, now it's great that I can post a video and have a few thousand people watch it, which is tremendous. But I do remember those early day ones where I thought, you know what, people are starting to pay attention, and people are enjoying the content, which is great. But then I would say that, you know, more recently with the things that are, because the channel is basically so Newcastle linked, you know, I think a lot of the stuff happening right now has been great as well. So yeah, some of the milestones have been really nice, and I think I'm supposed to enjoy my football team with people all around the world is quite nice. You know, there is as many, maybe not negative comments, but not as nice comments. There's always going to be plenty of really positive ones as well, which I think is always great for your channel.
Absolutely, I could not have said any better myself, mate. Because you know what it is, right? I mean, look, in the day, I love doing what I'm doing, and you just got to keep going, and you just don't want any negatives at all whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? But
definitely
saying that, I mean, you know, I'm enjoying it, and you're enjoying your stuff as well. Right, that's part 1 done. We're going to go on to part 2. It's quick fire questions. There's around 10 of them, and then we go straight onto the floor. Your best moment as a Newcastle United fan?
Yeah, I did think about this. I mean, it's hard to trump the takeover, to be honest. I just thought and I know you've had other people on, and everyone's saying the same thing, but I think it's just like a lot of just elation in that moment. You know, there was good times previously, you know, when I mean, Cissé's goal against Chelsea, you know, some of those older memories are still there in my head of, you know, jumping around the living room or in the pub or wherever I was celebrating. But just that moment of, I think it, you know, had that takeover come maybe 10 years earlier, and had we never have had Mike Ashley, for example, then it maybe not would have quite had such a potent feeling. But there'd been, as I said, there'd been so much negativity, and running up to the ground with the 2 spare cans of Foster's I had in the fridge just to get up there and try and experience it and be part of it was just quite surreal. So yeah, I think Newcastle wise, I mean, Wembley was great. You know, had we have won at Wembley, then maybe that would have been number 1. But I think I'll stick for takeover for now. And if we'll go and win a cup, maybe that'll get trumped. Who knows? Maybe the first Champions League game of the season could change that. First time I'll be there for a live Champions League game. So we'll wait and see. But takeover for now is top.
Absolutely. I would have said exactly the same thing, because we had 15 years of Ashley, 14, 15 years of Ashley. And to get that, Rob, it's just wow. I was in Cardiff. I told Lee last week I was in Cardiff. I heard the news, and I nearly crashed the van as well. I thought, wow. As I got out of the van, I said, yes, got it over. And then I had to hug someone. You know, she was only 5'2", but she gave us a hug for the less. And she is fantastic. She was pleased. But she posted Liverpool, and big up to her for saying that. So yeah, posted Liverpool 1 or 2, but there you go. So yeah, brilliant answer there. And your best moment as a YouTuber?
Yeah, I know you sent a couple of questions over beforehand, and I had a little think about this one because, as I say, like the takeover was massive for the club, but also I was there recording it as well, so it kind of comes as part of that. But I think one thing that's been really good from YouTube is it has allowed me to do a few things that maybe that I never would have done. Because that's the thing, even if I wasn't doing YouTube, I still would have been at the takeover, and I still would have been at Wembley. So they aren't really YouTube specific. But I think what is being invited on to do interviews for BBC or Premier League or Sky Sports. I mean, those are things that I never would have done. So I think I would say that they have been really good. But I think for my channel itself would be, and I don't really, I think I've got a few videos that I'm quite proud of, but I think to post a video and it to kind of really pick up and have people take note, especially ones which you've spent a lot of lot of time on. I know one of my favorite videos on the channel, if anyone wants to watch it, was my St. James's Park Stadium tour that I did a few years back now. And I honestly took weeks and weeks to make it because I wanted to make sure that it was factually correct. I got nothing wrong. All the figures were right, and all of the editing took ages. And sometimes you can post a video on YouTube that you've spent a lot of time on and nobody watches it, and you think, good God, that was a lot of time put into that one. But that was one that I posted and it really took off, and a lot of Newcastle fans enjoyed it. So I would say that's quite a proud moment on my channel. And it's trying to, every time you make a video, try and make it a good one. I'm quite enjoying the kind of stadium development stuff right now. I think they are quite enjoyed by the fans. So yeah, a few moments for you there, John.
Fantastic. Great answer. Fantastic, mate. And so, Chuff, number 3, your favorite player, past and present.
Yeah, I mean, past will be, well, or even just for the pay, I'll probably go Shearer. To be honest, as I say, he's just a standout, isn't he? I have had favorite players, and I know I've got some friends who were big fans of players like Ben Arthur and Laurent Robert and some of the more like flair, tricky players that everybody always enjoys to watch. But it's hard not to look past the man who scored the most goals for your club ever. So I think I would go with him.
Cool. Fair enough. I mean, ended I would have said the same, Shearer from me all day long. And we've got question number 4, your best signing since the takeover. There's quite a few, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. There's some really good ones there, and all with different kind of reasons for it as well. Obviously Isak's come in and he's so good. He's so talented. I can't wait to hopefully see him get a full season. I don't know if you never know. I don't know if he'd quite catch Haaland, but I tell you what, if he can get a full season without injuries, I honestly think he could put in a real shift. I think Bruno's taken a lot of the attention because of how good he's been. I think Nick Pope has possibly not had as much attention as he deserved because he's been so good, but I think I'll stick with Trippier. And it's not necessarily because he's as flashy as an Isak or a Bruno, but I just remember going to watch him on that, was it Cambridge when we lost the game when he played his first game for us? Now he's probably gone back at the changing rooms and gone, oh God, what am I doing here? But I just remember standing in the stands, and he was sitting in the stands, and he was just telling the cells, go here, do this, stand there, do that. And just from the moment he got there, it just felt like somebody had to take this team by the scruff of the neck and go, look, you need to start being a bit more sensible, really. Stop lumping it out every time. Take a deep breath. I think Trippier's just like the team. I think Trippier embodies what Eddie Howe wants, but I think he's the one that almost leads it on the pitch. So I'll go Trippier for that reason.
Yeah, fair shout. I mean, look, he comes in, he's leader, he's short of the back four, and led by example. He's a leader and a captain.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's brought in the Let's Go Madrid mentality into Newcastle United because he's learned how to defend properly by Diego Simeone, and he brought it here and he made an absolute difference. He is a leader of all leaders. And we've got the next question for you as well. Which player that we've been linked with but didn't sign, who would you have liked to see at St. James's?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a few. There's obviously at the moment the Barnes one is looking like it could pull off, which I think would be nice. I don't know. A part of me doesn't even want to say his name because he hasn't chose us, did he? He went to Spurs, but I think the Maddison was one. You know what? It's funny because I wouldn't even say as much this summer, but I think previously, back in the other windows, it was a player that I think would have really stood out as a big signing for us. As it happens, and it's funny, isn't it? Because you start to pick players that you like. I know, like Diaby was a player that a lot of the fans started getting quite excited about, and obviously it didn't happen. I think Maddison was definitely one that got me hook, line, and sinker in the hopes to have him. But look, things change, and it's not like we're sleeping. It's not like we're gone to sleep. We've got Tonali in, which I think is if not more significant, to be honest. So. Yeah, I'll stick with Maddison, but you know what it is? I'll get over it pretty quick when we're getting a few more players this summer window.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, if we get someone better than James Maddison in the summer, then I believe you've got one in Tonali, in my opinion. This guy is superb. What a class player. and I watched Syria. Absolutely love that league, and it looks like there'll be more Italians going to come over to the Premier League in future years.
Yeah, yeah, it does sound that way, doesn't it?
It does. It does. It's financial at the end of the day, but
yeah,
just can't compete anymore in the Premier League. But that's for another time.
Yeah.
The next one. What do you think sets us apart from other clubs in the way we do business in the transfer window? And that's a cracking question. This.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because I definitely think we are trying to, be very sensible about it. And that was a concern, wasn't it, from the very start, that the minute people know Newcastle have got money, people are just saying, well, actually, can we have an extra 10 million for him or an extra 10 million for him? And all of a sudden the fees are going up and everyone's, trying to take advantage of us. I think, I know there's two parts to it, because I think one part of it is to stop that. We just go, look, we're not gonna overpay. And if every other team gets to that and goes, well, look, Newcastle aren't just going to pay us whatever we want them to, it's going to make our time easier and hopefully not allow transfers to drag on so long. I think that's what we maybe learned from the Gordon transfer, was we tried to buy him on the 1st of January and we didn't get him until the 31st of January. And I think that's why this summer it seems that Newcastle are being quite crude with what they offer, and if they're not interested, they'll go and do it somewhere else. That appears to be, what's kind of happened with some of the centre mids we've been linked with, is that if the fees are too high, we won't sit there and try again. We'll say, look, well, if that's the case, we'll go somewhere else. So I think it's sensible on a financial point of view, but I also think it's sensible for us as a team. You want players who want to be here, and you also want to try to get transfers done quickly. And also Dan Ashworth, I mean, he's going to totally give a new layer to everything we do this in the transfers, because he's not just going out and paying silly money for anyone. He's going out and finding these young stars that are hopefully going to be, they're worth 5 or 6 million now, but they could be worth 50 or 60 million in a few years' time, which I also think's is very clever of the club as well.
I'm going to have to kind of agree, because you're not going to get fleeced by other clubs as well, because they know we got money, and it asks an extra 10 million quid or 20 million quid. We just, like you just said, we go elsewhere and we just get a better player, a younger player as well. I mean, look, we might think the richest club in the world, but at the end of the day, we are not going to get fleeced. We are not Real Madrid yet. We're not Bayern Munich yet or anywhere like that. Nowhere near. We got to win titles and trophies first we can get to that level, but that's for another year. And let's go on to the next question. Do you think our owners have massively ramped up expectation, or we are still approaching the rebuild slowly?
Ooh, I think it's a bit of both is the answer. I had someone ask me the other day, what would the Newcastle fans be like if all of a sudden we get knocked out of the cups early and we start having a poor season? Will the fans turn on Eddie Howe? Would they turn on the players? And it's football's and my answer was no, because I think that the fans should realize that we are in a building process, but at the same time, the reason you would potentially be unhappy is because with winning and doing well, the expectation will naturally grow. You can't say that if we suddenly finished, bottom half of the table next season, that people not would be angry, but wouldn't be disappointed, because all you're ever looking at is up and up. So I think it's a bit of both. I think Eddie Howe, for me, can have as much rope as he wants, and so can the owners, because that's the thing. As much as we may go slightly down or slightly along, we're always going to be going up. Like previous ownership, it could go, oh, hang on, it's gone like that. I think we're at a point now where, it might go down a bit. And, who knows, maybe we have a slightly tougher Premier League season because we're in Champions League, because we're in cup games. There's a lot going on. Maybe we don't get to Wembley next season. That isn't that. That's just a little bump in the road. But eventually we will end up there. So I think that's just what there will be expectation to do better. But I just think everyone will hopefully, keep a level head and realize that in a few years' time, it will keep going up and up.
100%. I mean, look, at the end of the day, right? I mean, we just got to be patient as well with Eddie and the guys as well. He's done a fantastic job for me. and he just got credit in the bank. And I hope the fans continue to support Eddie Howe, because what he's done is just absolutely unbelievable. I did not expect this. I didn't expect this at all. He's
No, nobody did, I don't think.
Yeah, and there you go. I mean, too many draws didn't get us a title or close to the title. But if you turn those draws into wins and carry on doing like he did last season, Rob, believe you and me, we'll be fighting for the title next season. Well, I'm nuts. I'll be fighting for it.
I hope to see it in the next few years, definitely, or at least up there. I mean, we're sure that this season already, you know, we can compete, and I think it will get tough with teams like Chelsea and Liverpool trying to bounce back, and that's why we need to. That's why, like Eddie Howe says, you know, we need 2 squads. We need to get like a Man City going on, where we've got a squad for the Tuesday, a squad for the Saturday. But that's what I mean. It takes time, and I don't think we'll be there in time for this season, which means that we're going to have a lot of games for a lot of players playing 3 times a week, which is why I think we need to maybe level where we're hoping to be. But it's just, I mean, I want to see us get Champions League again. I want to see us compete in the Champions League. I want to see us get Champions League again. If we don't do it, you'll naturally be disappointed. But, you know, just because you're disappointed doesn't mean that you can't still, you know, back the team as well. So it's a bit of both.
100%. That's what we've got to do. I mean, we've got to that ceiling. Can we hold on to that ceiling? But we'll have to wait and see. But like you said, if we don't get it next season, then yes, disappointed, like you said, but we just keep going. We don't give up as a team.
That's it.
And question number 9, during the live stream after the Tottenham game, post takeover, but pre-Bruce sacking, Eddie Howe was Bookie's favourite to get the job. You said that the thing that worried you about Eddie was that he was such a hot property, and why did no one else pick him up? How do you feel now?
Yeah, I mean, Eddie Howe is, he's certainly he showed what he could do, couldn't he? And Eddie Howe's an interesting one, because I think a lot of people did say that, didn't they? You know, with the different managers would be kind of linked to, and people are still saying it now in some regions of the media, that is Eddie Howe a big enough name? Can he take us to the next level? I mean, I think he's shown everybody right now what he can do. And what's interesting, and which is amazing for the club and for Eddie Howe, is yes, we can go to players this transfer window and say, look at us, we've got Champions League. But I think what's also going under the radar is we can say, we've got Eddie Howe. By the way, did you just watch him turn Joe Linton into one of the best midfielders in the league? Yeah. By the way, did you just see him help Callum Wilson get the best season of his career at the age of 30, 31 and get him an England call-up? You know, he's brought Bruno in, who was, you know, known but not as recognised as he is now, and is probably worth, you know, 3 times what we bought him for. You know, he's brought Trippier in and given him a new lease of life in a Premier League side. He's bought Nick Pope for 10 million. That everyone went, Nick Pope, and he's been the best goalie in the world. You know, Sandro Tonali's, I'm you know, looking at Eddie Howe and going, you know, he's made them their careers. You know, I think that's a big pull for us now. Eddie Howe deserves a lot of credit, not only for what he's achieved already, but what he can bring in terms of, as you say, like that respect from players now is certainly gone through the roof. So yeah, very happy for him. And us.
Absolutely. And you know what it is? Like people say, Eddie who? What's he done? What's he won? Yeah. You know what, right? I mean, look, if Eddie Howe's a young manager that's come in, right, at a big club, I didn't know what to expect from him, but he's come in and he's turned that club around. The fitness, the way they train.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
The way they look up to him, yeah? No prima donnas at Newcastle United. None of that. None of that. And he's coming here, and he's, like I said, Joe Linton, Jacob Murphy, Sean Longstaff, yeah? Even Jamal Lascelles to a degree, yeah? Fabian Schär, absolutely fantastic. Callum Wilson, you mentioned him as well. Oh, my God. They come from ordinary players into quality players, and that's down to one guy, and that is Eddie Howe. So, yeah, and finally, before we open the questions from the chat, what do you see for your channel going forward?
Well, it would be lovely to, you know, go and do my first ever Champions League vlog as a Newcastle YouTuber. I mean, that would be quite nice. At the moment, just trying to stick in. I think there's a lot to talk about right now. Everybody's full of love and joy with Newcastle. And because that's what I talk about, it's something that I'm very much enjoying for myself. I don't have too many big aims or hopes for the channel. I've recently hit 40,000 subscribers. It would be great to try and hit that. Yeah, to try and hit that 50,000. Yeah, to try and hit that 50,000 mark would be brilliant. But it always takes time, so I try not to pressure myself too much with YouTube. You know, it's something that I started as a hobby, and as much as, you know, it is quite a lot, as you say, at the moment. You know, it's gone from doing one video a week to pretty much a video every single day.
Yeah.
I still try to keep it like kind of fun and casual, and try not to put too much pressure on it. But I think if I had to say what my hopes are going forward, would be to not only keep up the, you know, the daily talking, updates and chatting. I'd love to try and put more time into maybe some of those more highbrow videos that I mentioned earlier in this chat about, you know, the stadium tours and like the a little bit more like factual kind of time taken videos. That's the thing. Those are the videos where you need to kind of go out and give yourself a whole day or a whole weekend to really try and put it all together, and can be quite tough on time. So I think what I would like to do is maybe try and take more time aside, maybe plan things a little bit more thoroughly, and then go out and try and create some, you know, higher quality content is what I'd like to do next.
And you know what? I think your channel's going so damn well.
Oh, thank you, John.
It's up there with the best in the region. And I'll tell you something now, right? I mean, you're just cool. You're just fantastic. And you know what? You know your stuff. And that's
oh, well,
so,
very kind. Thank you.
And I'm sure the chat will totally agree as well. So that's part 2 out of the way. Now we're going to open the questions to the floor. And guys, if you like the video, like what you see, please give it a like, subscribe. Also, like the super chat is open still, and you'd like to become a member, you know, also it's just 99p, and also follow Rob at Roobenstein7, as you see on the floor.
Thank you.
No problem. Let's go on to the questions. Got to say hi to Jules. Okay, hi to Jules. Hi to Rob, and hope you're okay. Hi to Steve. Welcome to the chat. Any questions to the great guy? Get them fired in. Hi to Les. Hope you're okay. One of my mods. And you said it. You said it. And everyone say hi. Hi to Alan. Big up to Alan. Greetings from Croatia. Thank you very much for coming all the way from Croatia. And don't go away from Italy, Croatia, Germany. You're welcome to the chat. Hi to Stephen, and hi to Paul. Hello. As well. And yeah, thank you for that. Hi, I said hi to Alan, hi to Kate, and hi to Gareth. Yeah, like I said, the questions, just find them in. Hi to Liam, two Toon legends. Hope you both are. Liam, I love
Liam.
that. Thank you very much indeed. And love catching Rob's channel. Much like John, so always try to remain upbeat and positive about our club. Keep up the great content. Thank you very much indeed. And by the way, I hope you and Jonathan are over your loss of Jonathan's dad. My heart goes out to you. And hi to Kieran. I hope you got okay, Kieran. I hope you're having a good day, mate. And like I said, I've got a question for you right there, Rob, as well. I mean, can you see Eddie Howe win us a trophy?
I hope so. I hoped I might have seen it in the Carabao Cup final. To be honest, it wasn't quite to be at the end. I think like we've kind of said in this video, you know, I think the owners are going to put a lot of faith in Eddie Howe as well. They've kind of come out and said, you know, they're going to really give him as much time as he needs, and I think he has the capability to do it. I know some people have said they're not sure on Eddie Howe, and if Newcastle want to take the next step. I mean, when I say this, cheers, rock the Toon.
Cheers, rock the Toon. I'll pass it on to Pearson, or pass it on to my guy Eddie as well. Go on, carry on. Go on, carry on.
Yeah. That was it. It was the people who are saying they don't think Eddie Howe can do it, or people who don't support the fan base. To be honest, I think it's Newcastle fans have got quite a lot of faith that he can be the man to take us there, and he already got us to one final, you know, pretty quickly. So if he's got us there already, he's got us Champions League already. If the owners continue to back him, then I would love to see it.
Yeah, Absolutely. If he does that, his name's on folklore. Build a statue of this guy outside Gallagher.
Yeah, I mean, that would be good, wouldn't it?
Oh, will it be just, my guy? He will be good. And big up to Richard Hill, by the way. Help, guys. Thank you for both your content. Spend more time on YouTube watching most of the Newcastle channels. Keep up the good work. Richard, thank you very much indeed for that. Your kind words, mate. And the cues for Rob. Looking back at your previous videos, any funny moments that make you smile?
That's a really good question.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, there's a few. You know what is funny as well is it's probably stuff that happens in the video that maybe you guys don't maybe not even notice. It's smaller things that maybe at the time made me laugh, and no things like trying to. I did a video a couple of weeks ago where I was trying to finish off my pint, and I realized that I had way more in the pint than I thought I did, and ended up just standing there for like 5 seconds, thinking, "Oh God, I've made a mistake here." So yeah, just daft things. I am trying to include more because, well, I think it's like anyone, you make a daft mistake, you want to edit it out, don't you? But I'm trying to leave some of that stuff in because I think it is funny. It shows that everybody's not, just a robot who knows everything first time. I think it can be quite, actually entertaining for stuff to go wrong in videos. So yeah, I mean, I regularly get people's names wrong in videos, and I've just started leaving that in now. So yeah, there's a few bits, but yeah, it's always good fun doing videos.
It certainly is. Absolutely. I love doing videos. I'm doing more recorded stuff now. I did one with Sabrina, Italian football expert. She was amazing.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
I don't know if you checked out Tonali report I've done. So that was really good. Also done the Ivy Barnes one as well. Nearly 5.5 subs. Thank you very much indeed, Jules. Thank you. And Steve, I'll chat to you at some stage on that one, mate. Hi to Mighty Mag. Where have you been? Haven't seen you for a long time. He's been a busy guy. Hope you're fine, mate. And David saw that one as well. Roobenstein's video always positive, happy, and he's always smiling, which is what I really love about his channel. I love coffee. Top guy.
Yeah, top guy. Thank you very much.
When I'm new to Newcastle in a month or two, we're on a heap of vigilantes or chasing some Rife pitchforks talk. Yeah, I get him. So Rob, you travel to a lot of away games. That's on Listen and Alan before that as well. Yes, I've done a video of that earlier on.
Yeah, good question, Alan. I did travel to a lot of away games. Like a couple of seasons ago, I remember I went to quite a lot on the Championship, and a few seasons ago, I think I went to every away game in a season, which I was quite proud of. More recently, I haven't been quite as good. I think, yeah, well, there you go from Andrew. How's married life treating me? It's good, but that's the thing. It's busy, There's a lot going on right now with YouTube and family and work and a lot of other things. So I haven't been able to get quite as many in the last year or so. Plus, it's harder to get tickets now as well. There's a lot higher demand than it was when I was going 2 or 3 years ago. Nobody wanted the tickets then, and now everybody wants them. So yeah, I went to about a handful of away games last season. I'm hoping to try and better that this upcoming season. Maybe even try and get to one of the games in Europe. But we'll wait and see.
Definitely. Alan, I've answered that question already, mate. It's Alan Shearer.
Yeah.
And I believe it's Kieran Trippier, isn't it?
That's right. That's right, John. Yeah.
And thank you, JK, for subscribing to both our channels. I appreciate that, my guy. And it said something pretty good in the chat. Oh, John, man. I like him. That Kieran Shearer and Joe Linton. Yeah, John must have read his mind. Well said, Rob. And Rob, do you meet other Newcastle YouTubers at the games? That's from Alan.
Yeah, occasionally, Alan. I think everyone's kind of got their own stuff going on, so I don't necessarily meet all the time. But I know, John, do you still go and hang out down by the Jackie Milburn statue before the games and stuff? Because I know people used to do that there.
Yeah. I mean, like a few other YouTubers as well, and just do a quick interview before the game and after the game. And go on.
Yeah, I was going to say there was, quite a few years ago, I used to do the same and go down there before games and hang out. Nowadays, I'm just bloody running around so much. I don't always have the time. And I know I've seen Matty from the Magpie channel occasionally, and I went and seen Shea Given did a talk a few weeks ago at a pub in town. So I actually went down there with Adam P and a couple of other guys from from a podcast. So that was good fun.
Fantastic. I love to see Shay giving himself as well. I love to.
It was good. It was good. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
A legend, my best keeper in my lifetime, my era, Shay Given. What a keeper! What a keeper. Rob, do you do YouTube full time? That's from Kieran.
No, I don't, Kieran. I have a job. I work full time, 9 till 5. So yeah, I'm a very busy man at the moment with the videos and work. And as I say, I'm actually looking at moving house at the moment as well. So yeah, there's a lot going on, but it's all good. It's all positive. I'm enjoying it. Just need to get a bit better with my time management. And as I say, that's the thing with, trying to get to the games a little bit earlier, trying to make the vlog a little bit more, atmospheric, getting in the stadium earlier rather than just running in 5 minutes before the game starts, trying to really, and that's what I meant earlier on when I spoke about trying to have the time to go out and maybe make some of these higher brow videos. It's having the time to do it. So yeah, that's one goal for this season, is to try and put a bit more time to one side, to not just for the YouTube, but just for me to enjoy it as much as I can for the football. So yeah, busy guy right now.
That's how we love it. You've got to be busy.
Absolutely.
You've got to be busy all the time, which is good. And what is it? Hard work pays the bills. Don't worry, Madison will probably get injured. Don't wish that on him, by the way. In his first game, leaving for fuming when Kane leaves Tottenham. I'll be laughing for some cans. That's in JK. JK, we love you. We love you. Rob's the top bloke. Here's again, soon, power.
Hello, Matty.
It's his turn. I believe it's just going to be his turn next week. I'll be in Glasgow. I will be doing it with him. And
yeah, that was a YouTuber I met. I was down chatting to Matty outside the Dolphin before the Wembley final. So that was good fun. Good to see him.
Yeah, cool. Sounds a great guy, and Leslie rates him highly as well. John and Rob, the disaster again strongly linked, just like just kills, threats, and attacks. Looks great. I think I believe it's spoken from France saying that he wants to come to Newcastle, but I believe it when I see it. And then that's come from their side. And go on here before I jump and see what I prepare for. That's just exactly what you're doing.
You'll do fine.
You'll be fine, mate. I'll look after you. Orbie Chat will look after you as well. You'll smash it. And Leslie totally agree as well. Do you think the rebuild of the East Stand and buying the list of buildings could potentially see a similar size stand like the Leases and Milburn stand being built with a hotel retail complex added? That's from John.
Yeah, I think with the owners that we've got and the money that we've got, I don't think anything is out of the question. I think they can do it. The trouble is just there's a lot of issues in the way. So, for example, if they were going to go ahead and extend, the Gallagher's, to match off with the Milburn, that would be so good. But I think before they even started to build the stadium, they would already need to probably put a lot of money into, reinforcing the tunnels underground for the metro and having planning permissions to move the road. So even if they woke up tomorrow and somebody said, here's the plans for the new Gallagher end, they would still take a lot of time. I'm looking forward. Obviously, they've been talking about doing the fan zone in the strawberry land opposite the stadium. I'm excited for it. I think it'll be great. I look forward to seeing what they do with that. I partly think the reason they've done that is because they need time to work on how they would extend the stadium. I think if they knew right now how to make that Gallagher extension work, they would be doing it sooner. But because they don't, they're trying to make use of the space in the meantime. I think the East Stand is an interesting one because I think really if they can, make it a glass structure, which would probably cost so much money. But as I say, is money an issue? If they can do it, they'll do it. So yeah, I think they will bring some more seats into the ground soon, and I think a lot of Newcastle fans would definitely be happy for it. Yeah.
100%, 100%. I can't wait for the fan cameras, fans on as well. That'd be more for some doing on YouTube's as well. That'd be absolutely amazing. That's the new seats. I think it does need to extend the stadium, in my opinion. I don't think 52,000 is enough. I think 65,000 could be enough, just be enough to cater for everybody. But I do feel sorry for the waiting list as well. They want to come to the games as well. And yeah, we're going to see what happens. I'd love to get to 65, 75,000 in the years to come. You never know. You never know.
Yeah.
No. I got one from Foxy, our South American football expert. How will be under huge pressure when a ban start and cup exits? Media will drive it, unfortunately. I hope it's not true, Foxy. I hope that's not the case. My opinion's got credits in the bank as well. And if the media do drive Eddie out, in my opinion, I think that'd be a disgrace, an utter disgrace. So with the British media are absolute toxic, I'm telling you, especially down the Southern media. I'm sorry, but I gotta say it.
Yeah,
I don't want to
I
say
think
it.
He makes a good. I think it was a. He makes a good point. It'll be it'll be interesting because as I say, I think like you said, he definitely has credits in the bank, but
Eddie.
Eddie definitely does. But it's one of them things where if things aren't going well, people will have to ask questions of why. But I'm hoping we won't get there.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And question for Rob: how important are charity links for YouTube channels? I'd love to see YouTube linking with deserving good causes, raising awareness.
Yeah, I mean it's always important. As I say, as I mentioned earlier on, that it was some of the great things that YouTube has brought me as the chance to go on BBC or go on Sky. But what it's also given me the opportunity to do is take part in some of these charity events. I think, as you say, Lee from Newcastle Fans TV, they've done a few different charity events. They've very kindly invited me along too. I played against a few Sunderland sides and we've always beat them, which is very nice. But what's more important is that we've been able to raise a little bit of money. And, I don't, always see myself as someone who goes out and tries to do good. But it's nice when you have the opportunity to try and raise a bit of money or raise a bit of awareness for some of these charities. So whenever I'm asked, I always try to jump on and do my best.
Good man. Good answer. Good answer. Good. Got quite a few questions coming up as well. We do the best we can. And hi to Paul Stones. Hope you're fine. Could you ask Rob if he wants to sell this blue away Newcastle top, the blue and gold Adidas one?
Is this the one? Is that the one I'm wearing? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
I've got a few good ones. I must say, I got quite lucky because as I mentioned, I've been obviously a Newcastle fan for a long time, but it was 2 or 3 seasons ago when we weren't doing quite so good, and I was on eBay quite a lot buying old Newcastle shirts. As I say, I've got a few in that cupboard there. I think I've got my best purchase was one of the like the 95 shirts, like with the collar. I managed to pick one of them up on eBay for it was like £35, and it was a large. And now they're worth over 100 because at the time nobody was bothered because Ashley was there, we were boycotting, and now some of these shirts are like gold dust. So yeah, some of these like this one, I was very lucky to pick them up at a time where less people were looking for them. I've stopped looking now. If you go online now and try and buy some old school tops, they can be worth quite a bit. So yeah, I got lucky with getting a few in.
Good man, good man. I mean, look, I love to get some old shirts as well. I love those 95, 96 away shirts, red and blue hoops as well. I love them as well. I do love them, and people still buy them, by the way. But
yeah,
you played a few YouTuber games. Which would you say is the best YouTube football player?
Ooh. I tell you what, Adam P's not bad. He's pretty good. I have seen Adam P play a few times, and he's decent. Johnny from Newcastle Fans TV as well. I think he's quite a decent player. Normally, when we go down, there's YouTubers, but there's always a few other guys as well. And I do try and get involved. I do far less running and playing football as I used to. I've done a few 11-a-side games that have been quite fun.
Yeah,
and that's again the Newcastle Foundation have been really good for the charity stuff, having people down there to use the pitch and try and raise awareness for the foundation. So yeah, there's a few decent players there. The standard is normally for a random charity YouTube match full of just a bunch of random players. The quality is normally normally pretty good, so it's normally a good game.
Brilliant stuff. I haven't played football for ages, but I need to lose a stone before I can start training again. So,
yeah.
But I think I'm excited for next year, though. But
well, brilliant. Yeah,
just let me know on that one. Rob, what would you like Newcastle to achieve next season? A cup or Premier League title or both?
If you're offering me either, I think I would say the Premier League, because it's a trophy and it's a league win. More realistically, I think Man City are doing pretty good at the moment. You know what it is? Never say never, because nobody would have thought we would get top 4 this season. So if you were wanting to put a bet on that we could do even better than that, I think you would probably get some decent odds. But as we've talked about, like achieving that little bit at a time as we go. As much as it will be great to turn around tomorrow and go, oh my God, Newcastle won the Premier League. The moment you win it, you have to win it every season. Once you've got there, you have to do it again. And that's the thing, is as amazing as it is, we've got Champions League this season. Everyone's very excited. We've got to keep doing it now. Because as we talk about expectation and where you want to be, if it's already put it's put a flag in the ground and gone, right, Newcastle are a top 4 side, So I think if we can go ahead and I think if we can have a decent Champions League run, another Wembley stint, the top 4, all of that is glory to me. If we can put a cherry on the cake with another Wembley final and a cup win, that would, send me over the edge. So that would be very, very good.
Absolutely. You know what? It's we haven't won the title since 1927. That's a long damn time. It really is.
Yeah.
But our time will come.
It will.
Yeah, it will. God please stay pos. Is there a Tonali song? Yes, that's an Andy. Hi to Andy, mate.
There definitely is a few that I've heard, but I'll be honest, Andy, I'm not going to sing one for you. Maybe John could do one.
Hey!
Newcastle put one out, didn't they? Did Newcastle not release it? I can't even. What was it? It was like the Almiron song, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that. I mean,
there is a few.
Tonali.
Yeah,
he comes from Italy to play for War Eddie.
There you go. See, so John's on them. He knows this stuff.
He's one of them. And I've got to think of more. So big up to Liam, by the way. Hi to you, Rob. When you come back swinging pints in the Five Swans? And hi to Liam. Do make sure you subscribe, Liam.
Yeah, Liam and Andy.
And Andrew. If you were behind the podcast, if you were to do a podcast behind the stand at St. James, which one would you pick?
So Andy and Liam are a couple of guys that I used to do a podcast with, and we used to do one called Behind the Leasers. That was good. That was another opportunity that came through YouTube. We used to do it for the local TV station. It's no longer running anymore, but it was always good fun, and having your face on telly was always nice as well. But what's he saying now? Love the pod. Just wondering if Rob has found his football boots for 5-a-side yet. Yeah, he's been asking me to go along and join them for some football. I'd like to. I used to play football for school and for my local team, and now used to do all right, to be fair. But ever since I got a bit older and started going out and got a little bit heavier, I've not played as much football of late. I know when I did the charity match last time, it actually did make me go out and do a couple of runs and try to really take it seriously. So I'd like to get a little bit more active and take a bit of time for that. So just give me a message, Liam, whenever the next game is, and I'll try and join you.
Good. There you go, Liam. Just do what the guys say. Rob, you got married recently. Does your wife follow Newcastle? That's a nice.
Yes, she is from Newcastle. She is a Newcastle fan. Does she watch the games on telly or go to the games? No, she doesn't. Unless I force her to. Sometimes when we're on holiday, I'll say, "Come on, we'll go out and watch the football now." But she thinks she's a Newcastle fan by default because she's from here, and she will say Newcastle. And to be fair, I've gone to a few games. I was thinking maybe for the friendlies, if she fancied joining, she could do. But yeah, she is a Newcastle fan as well.
Brilliant stuff, brilliant stuff. And hi to Jules again. I love how creative Rob has to be with where to film. I get to see a lot of Newcastle Wolves. Jokes apart, appreciate the effort to Rob and John. Got one here from Alex. So big up to Alex. Hi Rob, do you think you can get Chiesa for Juventus?
Yeah, maybe. I think he just wants to wear his black and white top at a different club, doesn't he? And supposedly, you know, Juventus are looking for money, and because they're not in the Champions League, it's quite a few Juventus players that are potentially looking for moves out. So who knows? Maybe. I think it's an interesting one. I don't know if it feels a little bit like a Barella, where everyone was quite excited for it and it kind of fizzled out a little bit. I don't know if Chiesa is something similar to that, but it's good to know that we've got a lot of fingers and a lot of pies. You know, we're looking at a lot of different clubs, looking at a lot of different players.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't surprise me if maybe Newcastle inquired about him, and they're just trying to get a bit of a feel, a water, a thermometer. Is it a warm? Is it a cold? It sounds like it's a warm. So who knows? Maybe we could see something happen with him.
There's one player I'd love to get in Italy. It's too hard to get. Kvaratskhelia and Victor Osimhen for Napoli. What are those two? I'll be happy with either of those two. And I'll tell you what.
Well, they're rocking at the minute, aren't they? So
exactly. If we get Osimhen at Newcastle, that, and I'm going to be honest with you, that gets us the title. We got Osimhen. That will get us the title. Rob, you need some European football knowledge for upcoming season. I'm your man. I do try. I'd love to do the Bundesliga, Spanish.
Good man.
You know, but I love Serie A, but I don't watch a lot. I should watch more of places like Ligue 1, La Liga, and Bundesliga as well. But I will have to catch up with that as well. Thank you, Jules. Have you, Paul, chatting to Paul? I'm not sure. Have a look at just sort of Tonali and his skill from post on holiday. And a question from Andy, Rob, John. What are your 3 most improved players?
Do you want to go for that one, John, or do you want me to do
it? I'll let you go first.
Yeah. Well, that's it, isn't it? I think Joe Linton is the standout, isn't he? Just because of how much it's changed for him. But I think, you know, you mentioned Shaw earlier on. You know, Shaw wasn't getting a game in front of Lascelles and Kieran Clark. So he must have been having a bit of a nightmare. And, you know, all it takes is, you know, a manager to come in and just give them a bit of boost and confidence. And they're now, you know, one of the better players on the pitch. So I think Shaw's definitely one in there as well. You know what? We saw some really good improvement from Almiron. I think that stint of 10 games where he scored almost every game was just, you know, such a great watch for him. After having, you know, struggled, I still talk about that first game where Miggy played and he chipped the goalkeeper and it hit the post and it went out. And it's just, if he'd scored that goal, would his confidence have been enough to take him on to new heights? But if Miggy could do what he's doing for those 8-10 games, I'm not even asking him to do it every game, not for 46 games a season. If he can just do it for 20-25 games, I think he would be a real quality player for us. So, yeah, I'll back Miggy in that improvement, but I need to see it more often.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to have to kind of agree. I mean, if Miggy started like he did the first half of the season, into the second half of the season, I think finally we've got a player here. And I like Miggy. I really do like Miggy. Yeah. 11 goals this season. He's improved. If he goes to marks out of 10 for the season, I'd give him an 8 based on the first half of the season. Joe Linton, what a player. He has improved. He has improved.
Yeah.
Where did that player play? There was a player in there. Don't go so I was the first one to slag him because I didn't think it was good enough. But since Eddie come in, clean slate, like a new player. He started to play like a £40 million player for me.
Definitely.
And Jacob Murphy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Good one.
Jacob Murphy for me. So he's getting better. He's getting better. He works hard. He'll run through big course he is as well under Eddie. Rob, what is your best Newcastle away strip?
You know what? I'm just looking around my room there. I've actually just got a new top. It's not an away strip, but I'll show you it.
Yeah, sure. I'll go through the comments as well.
So this is
where the
actually
game
an
finished.
old training top.
I have no
But
idea.
I have to say
mate.
it's my favorite top I've got at the moment. It's
Yeah.
white with the blue star on. It's hard to see on the
Yeah.
camera, but it's actually got like Newcastle badges kind of weaved into the whole strip as well. So yes, I really like this one right now. I've got a few good ones. I always try and I guess wear them in different videos just to make the videos a little bit more interesting, because I've got a different top on. What tops are you going to wear this time? So yeah, I've got a few. I like that one at the moment.
Oh, that looks spot on. That really looks spot on as well. Beautiful shirt, man. Thanks for sharing that with me.
Yeah, we've got some good ones, definitely.
Yeah, man. I mean, gotta get some more as well if I can, Abby. But I got the green one. I got this one as well. This is
nice.
I like Avios as well, mate. got one Richard Hill. Oh, what a dancer Tonali. Yes, that's a good one as well.
That's true.
I like that. I want to win the league with Tonali. I like coffee. I like coffee, man. I love him. He loves to have a banter. That's what I like. And the goes to all comes as well. We're not too far from the end of the show now. I used to play for Watertown Boys, and my biggest mistake was to go to Walker's Boys. That's some time and tide. And well, it is what it is. But you know what it is. As long as you enjoy yourself, that is what it's all about. That's what would be Newcastle's goal for next season for me? I will say top 6 again and actually win a trophy. What about you, Rob?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. If you offered me Newcastle to win a trophy next season, you say yes, you know, even if that means that we have a mid-season season. If we can go ahead, hey Jabba, what a guy.
Jabba.
Good to see you, mate. Yeah, if we could win any trophy, you know, even if it meant we had a mid-season finish or whatever, if we could win that trophy and really just take that kind of, you know, chip off our shoulder, you know, we've gone and we've done it and we'll celebrate it and we'll love it, that would be amazing. But on the other hand, as I said earlier on, yeah, I want that Champions. Once you've got Champions League, you've got to try and keep it. It's tough though, and look, if we don't do it, as I've said earlier, if we end up in 5th or 6th place or whatever, I think the lads will get that bit of rope they need, because it depends what happens this summer as well. What'll change the expectation. If we buy nobody else and we only buy Tonali, fans will go into the season knowing that we really should have done more. If we do buy 6 or 7 players this window, the expectation gets even higher, because now we've bought all these players. So yeah, it's always going to be going up. It's always rising. It's just trying to enjoy it for what it is and try not to think too much about it. Because as I say, you know, even if we do have a tough season next season, it's always going that way. It's always going up. So yeah.
The standards are high.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're getting higher, definitely.
And up. But no pressure, no pressure. Yeah. Jabba Dabba do. Big up to you, my guy. Thank you so much for your kind donation. And hi to you, mate. I hope you're having a fantastic time with your family as well. Shah, Joel, and Miggy, and most improved. Maybe Murphy has a shout to Paul. Totally agree. Everyone saying thanks to Jabba Jabba. And we've got one here from John and Rob. Who do you think will get in the Champions League, and who do you want to play against?
Yeah, I've actually changed my mind on this one a little bit, because originally when we got Champions League and people were saying who should we play, and you know, could we have like the pot of death where we play all of the big teams? And at first that was what I wanted, because I was maybe less confident with our Champions League prospects, and I thought if we're going to do it, we may as well play all the big teams at St. James's Park, away from home, big clashes. You know, I'm starting to feel like if we really do have a good summer and we bring in some good players, maybe if we were to get a nicer group, maybe we could have a bit of a Champions League run. Because that's the difference, isn't it? Either if we are going to lose in the group stage, we may as well play all of the amazing teams and enjoy it. But if we are going to have a chance in this tournament, then really playing against some of those maybe lesser sides would be good. So yeah, I think we're definitely going to get one of the big teams, aren't we, from Pot A? So there's always going to be that big match, you know, to try and turn Barcelona over at St. James's Park again would be a great watch. I think any team from anywhere in Europe coming to Newcastle under the lights. It's St. James for Champions League back. Everyone's going to be so excited. The players are going to be, you talk about Eddie Howe's fitness and getting into teams. The Premier League's a pretty fit league. Some of these other teams might not be able to handle how hard we press. So I think we're always going to have a chance. Looking forward to it.
Oh, you know what it is, my guy? It's going to be so special. So special. I want to be there as well.
Yeah.
As well. Amir was incredible last year. He was indeed knick-knack. Jabba Dabba Do. Thank you so much for becoming a member.
What a lad.
£2 donation now to become a member, and now he's in the hat to win a £50 e-voucher in September to a chance to win that voucher worth £50. Thank you for becoming a member, Jabba. I really appreciate that as well. Rafinha, I like that. People don't mention Willock very often, but he's a pain in the arse for some teams. Some of his passes are deadly. Do you like Joe Willock? I like Joe Willock.
Yeah, I do like Willock. I think.
Thank you, Andrew. Peace.
It's good. It's like talking about expectation. The minute he came in Newcastle and then he scored, 8 goals in a row and saved us from relegation. So straight away, everyone's going, "Wow, we've got a real player here." And then the season after that, he took a little bit of time to get going. I think Willock seems to have slow starts to the season and then really kind of pushes through. But I think what's been good for Willock as well as it has for a lot of players is that we've got a bit of competition in those players in those places. Nobody's, you'd probably say Bruno is really, but I would say that nobody's really guaranteed a spot. And I think it's bringing the best out of people. I think it's bringing the best out of Willock. He's got to play well to get him.
Yeah, that's a good answer as well. That's a good answer, mate. Appreciate that one. We got one from Miggy. Who's called Don't Figure again, and John was still slated. Look, I've not slated him. I'll place a player when they do well. When they don't perform, then I'll have to say something. But listen, Foxy, I'm a Miggy fan. I like him, and you know that. He probably thinks I'm lying, but he knows he's only messing up. Look at top Rob. Where did he get it to? That's Fern. Tiddly. Is it Tiddly?
Tiddly. Well, yeah, this one actually I got. It was a bit of a treat. This one was a bit more expensive than the rest. I got it from Eldon Square. I don't know if anyone was there. They did a pop-up shop for is it called Classic Football Shirts? They did like a pop-up shop in Eldon Square where they just literally had they had a few Sunderland ones there as well. I don't know why they had them, but they had loads of old Newcastle shirts. And as I say, back when I was doing my bit and buying quite a lot of shirts, this was one that I'd never come across on eBay. I'd never seen it before. So when I saw it in the shop, I was like, I'm going to buy it. Well, I actually got my missus to buy it for me as a birthday present. So she was very kind. But yeah, it was a little bit pricey. I mean, you say it was pricey. I think it was about 80 or 90 quid, which sounds quite a lot, but bearing in mind the new Newcastle shirts are 70 quid, maybe it's not actually that bad. But yeah, it was a little bit pricey.
Yeah, you know what it is, right? You got to pay for it as well. And listen, pricey. If you want the shirt, you got to get it as well, and get some dress shirt as well. We go for a few more comments before we wrap the show up as well. I know you're quite busy, and I know
that's all right, John. No
guy. And got big up to Alan as well. Rob, who would you like to see relegated? Oh, Alan, you put on the spot now.
not us. I mean, I think a lot of Newcastle fans were looking at Everton, weren't they? When Everton were down in the bottom three, I think a few Newcastle fans wouldn't have minded seeing them maybe take the trip down. I don't know what it is. I don't know where this kind of rivalries come from. It's mostly on social media, isn't it? With just taking, jabs back and forward. And maybe the Anthony Gordon didn't help with him kind of leaving them to come over to us. But, I think there's certain teams in the Prem who are exciting to watch, and there's some that aren't. I think Everton aren't always the most fun, so maybe I would put them down.
Yeah. Here's my fee's going to be, I think Luton will go, but I hope to be proven. I think Luton pod finish 17th, worst luck. Sheffield United will go. I don't know. It's hard. But
yeah, it is hard. I'm actually quite. I mean, Luton's a good one to come up though, because I think it's something a bit different. Obviously Burnley have come up. We've seen them plenty of times. It's nice to see a different side, in the league, and I think they might find it tough. But I think the stadium alone will be. I bet that'll be a hard one to get a ticket for. I don't think they've got many away seats in that one.
Well, I tell you what, though, it's going to be very close to 20. Is tough. I just think whoever stays up deserves to be staying up there. But I wish all the promoted teams the very best of luck as well.
Yeah.
Foxy, Inter got to the final playing Porto, Benfica, and Milan with a nice draw. We could surprise a few in the Champions League. Yeah, you never know. You never know. Yeah, you can't back down on Willock. He's been dying to prove himself on the starting 11, so competition will be expected, which is what you need from your team. And Jules, a massive thanks again to Rob and all the YouTube creators who have took the time to pop on. I know John and all of us appreciate it massively. I'll share with Jules on that one. Thank you, Jules. I think you get 3 more young players and 2 more first-team players. I hope you are correct. I'm just chatting to Les and check it out later, blah, blah. And Harder said, I'm done. Jabba dabba do. Every team gets a budget. Got to use it wisely, right? Going over it as well, if you see what I mean. And got Timur Ketspaya. Hi to Timur. And he might get a coaching role in Newcastle. You just never know. We'd like to see how Miron played in his natural position, just behind the striker. I also think he's better on the left wing than on the right. Man, you. Chelsea said to get relegated. The fight at the bottom was quite tight this year. And Spurs, absolutely. We've got a hashtag. The job that I would do is give us John's a member. He's given a small donation and he's given another donation.
Wow.
Thank you so much indeed.
Nice one.
And are you going to do the predictions this season on your show?
Thank you very much for the message, Jammer. Yeah, you know, the football predictions was one that I started on the channel quite a long time ago, and it was something that got a lot of people interested. And over time, I think, you know, when Newcastle weren't necessarily doing quite as good, it allowed me to maybe talk about the Premier League as a whole and not always about Newcastle. The trouble with the prediction videos is that they take ages to do to kind of, you know, with Newcastle, I go to all the games, I talk about Newcastle all the time. I'm always talking with somebody, so a lot of what I'm talking about really is just kind of, you know, what you pick up as you go along. But with the prediction videos, that can be a little bit more lengthy. I want to double check. So what did Arsenal do? Who did they play against? Who did Villa play? Did they win? Did they lose? When you're trying to predict all of the games in a 10-minute video, it can be quite a long process. So the reason I had stopped doing them this season was mostly due to that. It was being able to do them.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people like them, and I would love to bring them back. And I'm trying to think of ways that I can do it without and as well, I will say as well, not they didn't get that many people watching either. So when you spend a lot of time making a video every single week and then nobody really watches it, but you know, it kind of it wasn't quite as fun anymore. So who knows? The answer, Jabber, is maybe. We'll see how we get on.
Yes, absolutely. And just thank you, as Phil, for that as well. Thank you to JK. I really appreciate that, my guy. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you for Richard. And thanks to Les and John again. Everyone's favourite game this season. Oh, it's going to have to be against Man United. And looks like we beat them again. Luton 2-5, Everton, Chelsea, and Spurs going down. I mean, I like Coffee, so optimistic, and that's why I love about him. And being linked with Cherky for Leon, never seen him played, supposed to be class. I'll tell you what, I heard some rave reviews about this guy. Midfield general, what a cracking player this guy is. He's destined for the very, very top. I think Luton, Sheffield United will struggle as they don't have the funds. And great show, John, Rob, and all chatters. Thank you, Mr. Little. Rob, don't be, you know, coming back, mate. You love to get back on again. And bye to Coffee and JK. And let's have a look at one. Okie dokie live streaming.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Maybe. I'm looking at a few things I want to try and bring to the channel this season, and lives is one of them. So we'll see how we'll get on.
Cool. Well, if you're on a live, make sure I'm on first in your guest, mate.
Hey!
Yes!
Booked them in already.
Thank you. And let's have this one and last one here. Excellent show, excellent guest, and excellent chat.
Thank you.
All those 3 segments separate into 3 groups. You're absolutely right. And on that bombshell, we're going to wrap up the show because we're going on 15. And Rob, first the question: did you enjoy coming on the show?
Yeah, mate, it was good. It was good fun. I always like talking about Newcastle, and everyone's been great in the comments with the questions and their comments. So that's top quality, mate. Thank you for having me on.
Fantastic. Don't go away yet because I'll be backstage a little bit. And also, where can we find you on your socials so everyone can find you, please?
Yes. So on YouTube, it's just Roobenstein, Roobenstein. And then I've got Instagram, which I use more frequently. I don't post on Twitter an awful lot. So if you want to follow me on there, you can. But yeah, if you want to see what I'm up to when I'm not doing YouTube videos, you can check out my Instagram, which is Roobenstein7 as well.
Oh, and check out Roobenstein7 as well on Insta and on YouTube, Twitter. And I tell you what, he's got some cracking clips as well. And I tell you what, he's up there with the very best. I mean, there's a few Adam P as well. Wow, what a guy! What a guy!
Thank you, mate.
And,
very kind.
And top blokes, thank you for Timuri. Thank you, Ronald. You're welcome, brother. Thank you, Ronald. And
you'll have to watch it back, Ronald.
Watch it back. It's brilliant. Who does like to talk about Newcastle? That's St. Patrick. Hi to you. Thank you, Gareth. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Tam and Tide. Love you lots too. And good to see you, Stephen. Thank you, Stephen. And you as well, Tam and Tide. And in a bit, please take care as well, Patrick. So, guys, if you like my video, please watch it back again. It's cracking sure. Up close to Roobenstein. It'll be downloaded for tomorrow sometime, so do watch it back. I'll post it on as well. Also, like and subscribe to my videos as well, with content as well. And also, Super Chats are still open. If you'd like to become a member, it's just 99p. Enter the competition. Jabba Dabba Do. Thank you so much for donating and becoming a member as well. Thank you, John. Thank you, Andrew. And thanks for me mods as well. Hope you have a fantastic evening, guys. And until then, I'll see you back for another day. And watch what you're doing. And I just posted out a video about Alan Maximin as well with Harvey Barnes. Check out for that as well. It's there tomorrow morning about 10 or 11 o'clock. And until then, guys, watch what you're doing. And as always, are we the